What's up, Reds? Welcome back to another episode of Liverpool Latest. My name is Matt. Thank you for joining me, as always, on this edition of the show. I have a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it, mostly pertaining to the likes of Curtis Jones. Now, in the research I have done for today's episode, Curtis Jones was the talk of most of the headlines I saw this morning, so it seems like Romano's update has caused quite a bit of stir in regards to media and in regards to Curtis Jones's stay at Liverpool. Keep in mind, his contract doesn't end officially until the end of the 2027 season. So, summer of 2027, he's a free guy. He can do whatever he wants. But it looks like that might be happening sooner rather than later, because Liverpool might be looking to transfer him out of the team, as, according to Romano, any sort of contract talks in regards to extending him have been on, quote, total standby. So it looks to be that Liverpool have yet to make any sort of definitive decision on Jones's future as far as him staying on the club, but it looks more and more likely that he is going to be the cost of summer squad reshaping, so that he can become a saleable asset to the team in order to acquire somebody else from a different club. The thing that sucks is that Slot has gone and quoted saying that we have to sell to buy, and it seems as though Curtis Jones might be one of those players that we have to sell to, get what we need to be better, which I highly doubt we will be, because $500 million couldn't make us better. What's another several hundred more million going to do in this, transfer window in the summer? Who knows? Honestly, who knows? Genuinely speaking. So it looks as though that the most realistic option would be for a Jones departure. And it sucks because Curtis Jones is the last true Scouser left on the team, as far as we know, or at least who's part of the, main squad. And sentimentally, a lot of fans, especially Liverpool natives, are going to be very sad about that. I think Curtis Jones has been a good player this season. I'm not the biggest Curtis Jones fan a lot of the time, but I won't sit here and deny that he has done a wonderful job for us when called upon to be in the starting 11 or coming off the bench. And there have been rarely a time where I could say that Curtis Jones is the reason for a bad loss or a bad, game or something, or at least, or should I say, he's rarely the sole reason that I point to. So, as far as I'm concerned, losing Jones would be really rough on the squad, as far as maybe morale goes, maybe fan morale especially. But it's just going to be a bummer. The fact of the matter is, there are interests from other clubs. Now, as we all know, Inter Milan was one of those guys, or one of those teams, that decided to have interest in him during the January window. Liverpool made the smart choice and said, we are not going to sell anybody. And that was that. Inter apparently still has some interest in Jones, though, which frankly does not shock me in any way, shape, and form. That said, apparently a couple of other clubs have been in talks in regards to taking Jones, and one of those happens to be, and I have it pulled up right here, the Times claims that Aston Villa is monitoring Jones ahead of a possible switch in the summer. And in addition to that, Tottenham is also another one of those teams reported in suggesting that that could be a side who comes into the mix to try and sign Jones. I am not going to lie to you. I have absolutely zero interest in sending Curtis Jones to Tottenham. I know trades don't exist really in soccer, but for the life of me, if we were to get anything out of Tottenham, it would not nearly be worth it. You know, I mean, look at the New York Giants. I mean, they traded Dexter Lawrence and were lucky enough to get, 2 first-round draft picks as a result, which was a pretty solid get. Some people will disagree with that, but I think it was probably the smartest choice the Giants could make. If trades were to exist in the Premier League, selling Curtis Jones to a nearly relegated team who could potentially be relegated to the Championship League would be an absolute asinine decision to make. I don't know what we could possibly get out of it, frankly. I would rather sell to Villa or Milan at that point. I would keep him the fuck away from Tottenham just for the fact of, like, how are you going to take a Premier League level player, send him to the fucking Championship League? I mean, come on. Imagine the disrespect that would show to him as a player and as more or less a person, to be honest, sending him to Tottenham. That would just be a disgrace if Tottenham were to continue to be on relegation for the rest of the season, because nothing's set in stone yet, I will say. But I also don't know if really Aston Villa will be much of will show him much respect either. I mean, after all, look what they did with Harvey Elliott when he was on loan. What makes us think that they're going to treat Curtis Jones any differently? So I worry about that. So for me, Inter Milan will probably be the best shot to send Curtis Jones, but that's just a personal opinion. Again, trades don't exist in the Premier League, but as far as a respectable team I would want to send Curtis Jones to, a team that's willing to pay for Curtis Jones, Inter Milan doesn't seem to be the safest option right now, considering that Aston Villa have treated our players we have given them in the past like dog shit, and Tottenham is an absolute dog shit, club about to be relegated or on the verge of relegation. So, speaking of summer decisions, a summer decision that I don't necessarily agree with, it came in the report of Anthony Gordon. Now, Anthony Gordon is expected to be available for transfer in the summer from Newcastle United, although Liverpool, there have been some rumors saying that now they have no plans to sign him in the summer, which means that all of the talk I have had over the course of the last several months to potentially sign him, or at least make a push to sign him to help better the team, is more or less null and void. Okay? That would be stupid for us not to. I mean, for an $80 million ask, or for an 80 million, pound asking price, at least that's the reported asking price. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's not necessarily unreasonable, considering that we bought Isak for much more than that, and look how he's panned out. I think Gordon could probably be a little bit more of could be helpful for us in the sense where we're already losing 2 strikers. Salah's gone, Ekitike is gone. We don't know about the likes of other players. I mean, Elise has been rumored to be, that door is shut. In my video yesterday I talked about, so that's kind of off the table, allegedly. Diamande, I'm not necessarily sure if they're going to pull the trigger for. So, to me, Anthony Gordon is probably one of the more safer bets to try and acquire. And the links have been constant because I've been talking about it for months. So it seems like there is a clear shift, allegedly, in the recruitment direction for Liverpool, and they have moved away from Gordon as a potential target. I don't really know what profile they are looking for or what priorities will take over. That has not been necessarily reported. There's also talk of the price versus the value misalignment. 80 million in valuation could be seen as a excessive relative to the squad's needs, and that could be a key barrier, so they're trying to be more cost efficient. Again, we paid over 100 million for Isak, and he's barely played any games all year. I'm not going to sit here and say that Isak is going to be the end all be all here, but I mean, I think we could probably throw Gordon into the mix too. I personally think it would make sense on paper. Anyway, some might argue that the winger rebuild is still needed, but elsewhere. and that we need more wide attackers, and that Gordon is not necessarily the preferred solution in that position. So, I don't know. Again, this is all speculation. This is all rumor. I don't know if I agree with these rumors. I would hope Liverpool at least keep him on the table, because shutting one door and hoping one will open is definitely not going to be a good idea. I don't like the idea of putting all my eggs in one basket as in regards to one or two potential players. I would like us to have options, and if that option is potentially Anthony Gordon, even if he's a second or third option, I would like to have an option. I believe, and too many times have we seen players in sports become the end-all, be-all option, where franchises, regardless of sport, and will spend all this money, and God, the player doesn't pan out the way they had hoped, and now look at them. They've spent all this money, and now they don't get the results that they're looking for. And that is not necessarily a shot any of the players that we have acquired, but I certainly would have expected more given the amount of money we spent on them this season. My hope is that next season that things pan out a lot differently, and that these guys actually show off and show what they're actually made of on the pitch. But again, that is wishful thinking. Some wishful thinking that I actually kind of agree with, and there was a report that came out today, and it seems as though it's kind of died out, because anytime I've clicked on a link trying to confirm any sort of detail on the matter, it has been removed from the site. Like Teen Talk, I tried to access this news about Diogo Costa from Porto, being signed as a potential replacement for Alisson Becker. I tried getting to them. I didn't really get much out of it. They were making me pay for the fucking thing too, so I'm like, fuck no, I'm not paying for no article. That's bullshit. What are you, the New York Times? And then I went to another site. I forgot which one it was, but that was removed from the site, the article entirely. So I don't know how true this actually is. All I know is I saw something on Twitter. I found it interesting. I decided to explore it a little bit. Clearly, there has been some legs to this whole ordeal, and it seems like Liverpool are, at least allegedly, exploring a potential move for Costa in the growing uncertainty over Alisson Becker's future, which rightfully so. We don't know what's going on with Alisson Becker. I've talked about this ad nauseum already. I think losing him, especially when we've already announced that we've extended the contract by, another year, is a ridiculous thing to do. I don't know why we would have done that to begin with if we were always going to transfer him out in the summer. So, with more and more increasing exit speculation, specifically to Juventus, because that's where Alisson has been linked to the most, it seems like Costa is the best option next, at least for a big name signing. He's considered one of Europe's most complete goalkeepers, and in retrospect of me making another previous mistake, I did my due diligence and did a little bit of research on Costa and how he plays and what he does, and his skill set. I've watched highlight videos. I've done a little bit of digging on websites about his profile. He's got a lot of experience, has mostly played his entire career with Porto from 2011 to 2019 in regards to, playing for their B team and then playing for the main squad. So clearly this guy has a lot of experience under his belt in regards to that specific club. And from the highlights I have watched, he seems like a very, very skilled player. Arguably, you could make the argument that he is arguably one of the best in Europe, like I said, based off what I have seen so far from the guy. So naturally, like I said, he's a part of Porto. He's also part of the Portugal national team. He's been more of an established starter since 2019, which is quite a long time. People forget how long ago 2019 was. This guy's been on top on that team since 2019, and that's not a slouch. That's not something to scoff at, if you ask me. I mean, think about it this way: 2020 was now only 6 years ago. Time flies when you really think about it. So, His release clause, as it stands, though, is reported at £52 million, which is certainly a lot, granted, but not necessarily not doable. Liverpool could attempt to negotiate for a lower fee, though I find that to be, I don't find that likely at all, personally speaking. They're also linked to the likes of James Trafford, Robin Roofs, I hope I said that right, and Bart Verbruggen. I don't know, man. Costa, I kind of like him. I kind of like this profile, man. He's very Allison-esque. The way I watch him play in these highlight videos I've watched, he's very like prime Allison right now. Like the way he moves, the way he saves balls, the way he does anything from what I'm watching is just, I don't know, something about him is very just Allison-like, and I just can't help but be in awe at it. Even one of the videos I saw, which I have the comment pulled up right here, a guy 2 months ago when this video got posted, this video has been posted for the last 7 months specifically. 2 months ago, this one particular, person watching said that this could be Allison's replacement. Now, I'm not sure if he is a Liverpool fan or he is not a Liverpool fan, but the fact of the matter is, 2 months ago, people were talking about the potential of Diogo Costa to be a proper replacement for Alisson Becker. So what does that tell you? You ask me? There's potential here. Will the deal go through? Highly doubt it. Granted, like I said, there has been no proper evidence of this actually happening, because most of the articles I have tried to click on in regards to confirming this news have been null and void, except for one, hence what I'm referencing from my notes and, of course, the comment on this video. So I like the idea on paper. Let's see if they actually find a way to pull through. I highly doubt 52 million will be the ending price. As a matter of fact, I'm sure Liverpool could potentially pay more if they wanted to or if they had to. I have no doubt they'll try to negotiate a lower price, but I feel like Porto's really gonna try and make them pay for this one, because if they're losing a guy with his quality in Costa, they're gonna make somebody pay for it. So that said, that is my Liverpool latest today. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment your thoughts down below. Most importantly, if you enjoy, be sure to subscribe to never miss an upload, or follow the show wherever you have the opportunity to. Share the show around with your friends if you're a Liverpool fan or a football fan. I appreciate FanArc for giving me the opportunity to take a very, granted, how do I say, limited, experienced fan to have a platform and learn about the sport and those playing in it, and of course broaden my own knowledge. So just like you're learning along with me. So I appreciate the fact that you give me the opportunity, as always, to Jason and Oliver. Anyway, that's all for me today, guys. Join the show, or join the journey of the show, because when you do, you never walk alone. And until next time, I'll see you.